All right, so we are back, and yes, today's video is kind of a big deal. I would say it's an emergency video for Deji fans, for Showstar fans, maybe for Alex fans. I'm going to explain why, but Deji has somewhat switched camps 6 weeks out from his fight, and people are hitting the fucking panic button.
How could he have switched? Is the fight is coming up? How do you do this?
So is all this panic justified? Like, is everybody getting worked up for no reason, or is this a massive deal? Well, I found out not only that Deji left camp, where he went, but I found out why. So buckle up because we got a lot to go through. Deji switches camp 6 weeks out. How does it affect him? Is it the right move? Breakdown. Let's go. All right, so let's start with the things that I think most people know at this point. One is that Deji didn't switch everything in his camp, right? He's still with Calvin, the guy that we all love as the second best strength and conditioning coach in the UK, behind my boy Leon Wills. Calvin is a centerpiece of that camp, and he's still there. That's a good sign. We also know that Deji is training with Daily Perales, aka King Kenny's older brother, pro boxing coach, former pro himself, a beast of a head coach. Kind of got leaked when Malik Scott, the head coach of Deontay Wilder, of all people, put up an Instagram story, and we're going to take a look at exactly what it said. All right, so like I said, this is from Malik Scott's Instagram. We're back at Rathbone's gym, right? You see Kenny here, there's Deji, and also here is Daly. So, confirmed, he's in camp with those two. All right, so we got some high knees. The squat kicks. Deji, you got to squat, big dog. We got Kenny and this guy squatting. We got to see Deji squat. That ain't it. All right, listen, so what you just saw from Deji, that kind of quitting and not being able to do the exercise, is not a great look. And yes, it does partially look like Deji's having a full-on seizure while he's standing up, but he is getting acclimated to a new team. Maybe it's his first time in there. It's a little bit of jitters. I don't know. I don't want to make excuses for him. All I'm saying is don't base everything you think of Deji off these clips. Yes, it's the only footage we have, but it's also not a lot of footage. All right, so now that we've confirmed he's with Daly, right? That clip not only was the teaser, but I've actually found out, and I think you guys have as well, he's fully with Daly and Kenny. That's going to be his camp going forward. That's all good in my opinion. I think him being with Daly is the best option, but the question now on everyone's mind, why so late? Why was this not the pick from the jump, and why did he leave his other camp? What's going on over there? Well, I reached out to some people that know better about the situation, and I got some answers. One thing that I think everybody is still trying to figure out was, who was Deji's former boxing coach? The answer is kind of right in front of our faces. I don't know how we didn't see it. He's been in Deji's videos, and we've even talked about how good his haircut and fit was. I'm talking about Solomon, this man right here. But it felt like Solomon was a background character in camp. It felt like he was more of an assistant coach to someone else, so that's why I never expected him to be Deji's head boxing coach. People closer to the situation, when I asked why Deji left, told me that Deji didn't necessarily see with Solomon what he saw with Daly. He started to gravitate toward that team a little more just because I think the structure there, it was just a better fit. It gelled better. It wasn't necessarily that Solomon's a bad boxing coach, but again, you piece together what they're saying with what I've kind of looked at in the videos. Deji might just want a more experienced, proven, authoritative boxing coach. He felt that Daly's camp was a better suit for him to get that next level of training, and I can't be mad at him for that. Even 6 weeks out, if he's just now realizing it, yeah, it's a little bit of a problem. But as far as what Deji's had to work on the most, or what we think Deji should be working on the most, that hasn't really changed, right? He stayed with Calvin, and Calvin has told us he's put in the work. This is from his own mouth. I'll let you listen.
You know, no criticism to his previous camps. I have no idea, again, what happened in his previous camps, I'm not sure. But in this camp, I am taking this 110% seriously. The growth that he's made mentally and physically has been phenomenal. I'm genuinely in awe of his growth.
All right, so now that we have the facts out of the way, the big fucking facts machine, I want to play a little bit of detective here. These are going to be full-on assumptions. I have no idea if any of this is the case. I just want to play a little game of making an ass out of you and me. So, assume, ass, you and me, bars. How much did we hear from Alex last week come out about how much he spent on his training camp? I think he said half of his purse was going to his training camp. We saw him in his strength and conditioning, working his tail off. Some would say possibly overtraining, which you do have to be careful with, saying things in our interview like, when Deji starts seeing my training, my sparring, he's gonna start to doubt himself and wonder, what did I get myself into? I think there's a little truth there. Not that Deji's doubting himself, but that Deji did see those things, just like we all did. And maybe something clicked in his head to say, yeah, what I'm doing is not enough. I need that next level to make sure there's no doubt that I go in the best possible version of myself and leave this guy laying or come out with my hand raised. Again, this is a good thing that Deji is now realizing it. Yeah, you'd like to have it done at the first part of camp so you have that consistency and that relationship already built by the time 6 weeks gets here. But honestly, I don't have a problem with it, and I think it's a great move for Deji. So in my opinion, no matter what the reasoning was behind it, which again, now we've learned it wasn't the best fit with Solomon, Deji recognizes it. Again, a little assumption by me, maybe sees what Alex is doing and how much Alex is spending and dedicating to this, leaves that camp, goes to another. We still have a month and a couple of weeks. There's a lot of work to be done, but seeing the transformation in a short amount of time that Daly has made on King Kenny, there won't be a lack of intensity for damn sure. There won't be a lack of education, strategy, and everything is condensed with other fighters on the card. It's a great move in my opinion. And again, I know a lot of you guys are concerned about the 6 weeks, but we're talking white collar boxing here. This isn't Canelo jumping shit from Eddie Reynoso and going somewhere 6 weeks before a world championship fight. It's not the same. And when he went over and saw Daly and Kenny and they were doing some training and he was still with Solomon, but he saw how that camp was being run, that's when he recognized, okay, this is where I need to be. You can't fault the guy for recognizing he needs to be in a better situation, and as soon as he realizes it, making that change. So as we leave off, my opinion, it's a great move for Deji. The timing of it is not the greatest, and it could have an effect on the fight. Him being so late there, maybe the relationship doesn't get built in time. Those things are real, and that can happen, but I'll leave it up to you guys. What do you think about this move? Is it the right move for him to make? Is he going to find that next level with his technique to go along with what Calvin has been doing with his cardio? And will it affect this fight, good or bad? Because we know Alex behind the scenes has been training nonstop. I don't have those answers. But on March 5th, I'll be there in person. I want to see you guys there. Grab those tickets, and I guess we'll find out.